Tēnā rā tātou katoa. Welcome. No mai haere mai. This is our private practice course. Ko Silvia Purdie tēnei. I am really honoured that so many have registered for this program. I'm honoured to have my friend Courtney Brown here. She's going to share a little about her own reflections on private practice from her journey. And we are doing a series of three 1 hour webinars introducing the business aspects of being a counsellor. So, welcome and let's begin. I have a slideshow for you, which, why did it do that? You think that all set up and then the thing disappears. Oh my gosh. PowerPoint, there it is. Greetings, there it are, our collaborative training course. A karakia to begin is a beautiful song by Hideni Melbourne, which I'm actually going to sing for you, and you can read the translation there. It goes like this. If you know it, sing along on mute. Thank you. This is our karakia. E tū kahikatea, hei whakapai ururoa, awhi mai awhi atu, tātou e. E tū kahi katoa, kareko e hinga, awhi mai awhi atu, tātou e. E tū puriri, tōhara e peka, mai awhi atu, tātou Kia ora.
Kia ora, tēnā.
I love this song. It's beautiful. I was given permission to use it in a book that I wrote, but I chose that for this because the vision for this course is a collaborative one, that we do stand as one. Tātou e. We're not in competition with each other. We're raising each other up. There's plenty of work out there for counsellors, and we are wanting to really encourage each other, equip each other, and support each other for this mahi. So our good to start with some community. No, this is a little intro to the course. So I've marketed this course with 4 objectives: that you'll go away with a clear plan for your counselling practice, that you'll improve your marketing and administration, address some of the unique issues and challenges, including ethics of private practice, and have this network of colleagues to draw on. You might like to have a pen and paper beside you as we go during our sessions, and it's really an encouragement that you get out of this as much as you put in. I've advertised it as a 5-hour PD, but if you spend more than 5 hours, feel free to claim more than 5 hours. I'll leave that up to you. Let me know later if you need a certificate, but it's really up to you what you put into this course. And probably with that in mind, it's a good idea to maybe set aside some time. I'll be giving you plenty of homework, but I'm not the boss. I'm not the teacher. These are resources for you to address your goals and what you need, the steps to take at this point in your professional practice journey. I do encourage people to contact each other. We'll be in buzz groups of 3, and we are having 2 additional discussion times because people have said they can't come and they'd like to have another time to get to know others. So I'll put that in the email already. I'll be opening up the same Zoom link on a Sunday afternoon at 4 and the Monday at 7, depending on which time suits you better. And all the resources, videos, and all are going to be on this web page there. That one there, I'll send you the link. That's the one where I put my video up. Come on. Right. Well, diving right in. I just am in awe of anyone who attempts to start a business. It's not a straightforward thing, starting a business. I have attempted to start, I think I'm on to my third now, but not counting my little creative business I had when I was a youth worker making stationery. Um, and my sustainability consultancy business, I closed that. It didn't work out. My counselling and supervision business is going really well. And now, as you know, I have a training business, which is also going amazingly well. So there is something to be said for planning. So I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes talking about planning. Here are three, I've just sort of tried to really crystallize business development principles. First, know your why. What are your best hopes for your practice? What truly motivates you? We're going to get into buzz groups later, as I said, and I'll give you a chance to share about that. For me, I decided recently, as I was trying to sharpen up my business planning, was like, how do we sum it up even just in one sentence? And I decided for myself that my counselling reason for being a counsellor is to make a significant difference to the well-being of my clients. So that's me. I want to make a significant difference. That shows you something about perhaps my achievement motivation. But it's nice. And I can say that to clients if they ring up, if I can put it on my website. It's kind of nice to have a little phrase that sums up your why. The second thing that you will read in any advice about business planning is to know your context. Particularly this question: what are the needs and opportunities for counselling in your area? And of course, your area could be both your geographical area, but also could be your kind of niche, your the target market that you're connecting with, which may be nationally, internationally. I wonder what you have already done to research your context and to identify the key things that are that creates this wonderful kind of mesh between the needs and the opportunities and what you are offering that leads to a good business. I have a couple of suggestions for you. One is particularly to go and meet some other counsellors in your area. I think that's important thing. Maybe go and identify, just look up, see who else is offering counselling in your area. Maybe meet them for coffee, just talk about this question with them. I'd also suggest meeting with some community leaders in your area. I think counselling can suffer from being kind of a bit looked down on, or potentially just a very private thing. So I do encourage you to be bold and just ring up someone who's on the city council or a local minister, or go and speak to there'll be a ministers association in your area. There'll be a business association in your area. There'll be a doctor or a lawyer or a medical centre manager. So that's an encouragement, is to push yourself to talk about what you are offering, but particularly asking them, what do they see as the needs in your area? And my third suggestion in that is to do some research online. To actually research the statistics. I'll include in the follow-up email, and I'll put on that webpage some links to Statistics New Zealand. There's a website called Suburb, which gives you a breakdown of things about your local suburb. There are infometrics, a regional economic profile that you can find online. And one thing in particular I wanted to pick up was the research done by the where's my next slide? Oh, where's it gone? There it is. by Te Hiranga Mahara, the Mental Health and Wellbeing Commission. To me, this is such an important part of our context as we offer counselling. So it's actually really sobering reading. I didn't realize even that how significant the trends are related to mental health. So this is the kind of top one, I guess, that there's an increase of 14% of adults experienced high or very high psychological distress in the last month. That's just a little snapshot, and that's tough. And conversely, the percentage of people that don't experience psychological distress is going down. Those that are experiencing moderate and high levels of distress is going up. It'll be about 50-50 at the rate we're going. 1 in 2 people heading towards as a society. But of course, it's not everyone. Older adults tend to have better mental health, and of course, younger adults tend to have high levels of psychological distress. I expect you knew this already, but nearly a quarter, over 20% of young people, teenagers and young adults. That's a lot, right? Oh my gosh. Or I don't work a great deal with young people, but I just, for all respect to those of you that do work with young people. A couple of other really significant things out of their research. One is that you probably already know this as well, that Pacifica and Māori have higher rates of psychological distress. And that's, yeah, hard it's just a fact of our nation, colonial history. I was really intrigued by this finding as well, that disabled adults had the absolute highest rate. So anyone working in the disability space, we totally need that. Going back, yes, that was my Know Your Context page. There it is. Good. And now I'd just like to talk about planning process for a minute. I sent out some articles about how to write a business plan, including a model for a counselling business plan with boxes, tick boxes, and ways to set goals as part of that. What works for you? What is your natural process for making decisions, setting a path, motivating yourself to move in a particular direction? And there's kind of 3 different processes that I'm aware of. One is to set some goals, right? If you were in the room, I'd go hands up if you are a goal setter. Me, I do have some SMART goals in my life. Like I need to at least once a week go through all my clients and make sure I have written notes and followed up on what I said I would and invoiced them and logged into the EAB portal, that kind of practical stuff. Like I've got specific, timed, realistic, measurable, and if I don't do it, there are some serious consequences. So that is I have some specific SMART goals, but I'm really more interested in the big, hairy, audacious goals. I wonder, I'm offering this today because I've got this crazy big goal about us, raising up the counselling profession in New Zealand. Wow, what does that look like? I'm more interested in that than the little things. In terms of planning, I'm drawn more, I must say, and as I've talked to counsellors in preparing this, everyone I've talked to has said, oh yeah, I don't really do strategic planning. I suppose I should. I wonder if you're in that category. If you're in the, I suppose I should do strategic planning, but I really won't category, then maybe this is for you, the idea of emergent strategy or fluid adaptation. I sent you the link for Adrienne Renee Brown. If you haven't had a chance to watch that yet, I do really recommend it. There's a whole kind of global movement. It relates to some of our decolonizing movement as well, because it's a very English, Western thing to have sort of logical strategic goals and planning like that. I love the idea that that emergent strategy is about what we are longing for, and that generates energy and momentum, that life kind of calls to life. I work as I have a strong spiritual component to my business. I work as a Christian. And to me, that kind of aligns with my understanding of faith and how God is at work also with me in this partnership. That it's not all about me and my ego and my goals, but and also one of the promises in our Christian tradition is that God can do way more than we think we can. There's this kind of emergent possibility within my understanding of my spiritual tradition. And I love that quote from Octavia Butler. All successful life is adaptable, opportunistic, tenacious, collaborative, and fecund. So I have had a go at drawing my own little map of what I think emergent strategy might look like with my felt pens. It's very colourful. So bear with me. I think emergent strategy looks like identifying where I am now. That's like the context. This is where we're at. And then having a sense of where we'd love to be. That's the big, hairy, audacious goals. And they might be quite a long way away. And that's okay. That's good to have some bold dreams and visions. But how do we get from here to somewhere resembling there? Or it might not end up being there at all. It might be somewhere else. But at least that vision is calling us on, heading in perhaps a useful direction. I decided for myself that I like the idea of milestones. So rather than talking about goals, I guess I prefer the milestones. I kind of want to know which hill I'm going to climb. Like if I want to walk from here to my mother's house in Greytown, I'd need to climb a hill. And if I climb the wrong hill, I'll end up in Wainuiomata that way. And if I climb a hill that way, I'll end up in Porirua. So I kind of want to know which hill I'm going to climb to get in the general direction of the Wairarapa. And some of the milestones for me have been achieving professional membership. Like that's a big one, and it has been a fruitful one for me. For my training business, currently I'm working on the milestone of I'd really love to have 200 visits to my webpage every week. Oh, that would be cool. I haven't quite got there yet, but that's like a little mile somewhere I can say we can have a little celebration when you can actually make it. The problem with totally fluid goals is that you never quite know whether you've got there or not. So I like the idea of looking ahead to some milestones, places where you can be clear what you're aiming for and celebrate when you get there. That generates some actions. So a range of different actions, perhaps some possible options with kind of a brainstorming, but we can give things a try. So this emergent strategy model is about releasing energy, giving things a try. If it doesn't work, then we haven't, invested too much in any one particular strategy. So I'm curious about what you're doing now that is leading you on towards your goals and the milestones you'd like to aim towards. So we give something a try. We have to actually commit and give it a try. And then a really important feature of this emergent strategy approach is the idea of feedback. And as counsellors, we're trained in that. We're trained to pick up information at a range of levels. We're asking our clients, how is this working for you? There are a range of different kinds of feedback. There's the external feedback as people tell us who responds to us and what we're offering. How does that go? What kinds of responses are we getting from our clients? Are we seeing changes that we want to see? There's the financial feedback of, are we actually getting paid? That's one important aspect of feedback. And then there's also this other side of feedback, which is internal. as I talk with people about their business, like when I ask what motivates them, it's actually less perhaps about the external and more about I'm doing what feels worthwhile to me. There's a purpose in what I do. I love what I do. That's the internal feedback. And hey, doesn't always go right. Sometimes we get exactly the wrong kind of feedback, stuff that's really challenging, people threatening to sue you or lay complaints against you, or maybe you get the feedback which feels like exhaustion or self-criticism and doubt. There's lots of different kinds of feedback, but this process helps us to learn. So we're constantly listening and responding. And then from there, that is our emerging strategy, working out what works. Well, that is that was it. That was my fun and funky model of strategic planning. Thank you for bearing with me. What's going to happen now is that I'm going to call on Courtney Brown to share about your journey. Courtney, I'm going to stop my share now. We are running, oh my gosh, 2 minutes early on our schedule. Courtney, are you there? Hello, Courtney.
Hello, I had to take a moment and of course it's classic. I'm ready to go and then my notes disappear.
Okay, it's
Oh my
fine.
goodness, what an honest confession right out of the gate. Okay, bear with colleagues, friends, participants. I'm just pulling it back up again. You know, when your screen goes quiet, because I was so enthralled with Sylvia's wonderful that all of a sudden it went quiet. So hang on just a second.
Well, it's a chance if you do have a pen and paper beside you, just note down what about one milestone that you're aiming for, one action that you're trying at the moment, what kind of feedback really matters to you.
Okay, I'm ready. Oop,
You're good. Good.
I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I invited Courtney for this because I think she's got the most interesting professional journey of anybody I met, in terms of diverse and rich and full of joy and struggles. So I don't know how you're going to summarize that in about just a little over 10 minutes, Courtney, but what would
Mm.
you like to share with us?
Thank you. Hello. I wanted to open with, I think, the three things that are R related. I like alliteration. What is the private practice reality
Mm,
and the rewards, and
mm,
then the road ahead? And so to try, like Sylvia said, to summarize my unique and diverse background is just too much, or all my list of qualifications, which is way overqualified at this point. I'll just say that at 5 years ago, I found myself at a very interesting crossroads. And after many years of being a homeschool mom in the Bay of Islands, I'm a dual citizen, so you can hear a little accent with Americana, but also my kids and my husband won't understand me unless I say things like water and things from Kiwianaville. So after many years of being a New Zealand homeschool mom, like 15, I decided it was time to return to counseling. So I was trained in America, one of the top-notch programs, ooh la la, and then became mummy down in New Zealand, very different demographic. But I was a family therapist for 2 years with Te Rupu Kimiora. So I did a rural regional Bay of Islands focused experience deep dive. I quit after 18 months because I had a teen suicide. So I was 0 to 21 and itinerant around Northland from Whangarei to Kaitaia with 4 different clinics. I'm such a highly sensitive human being that just kind of tossed me into the weeds. So I took some time out and just was a mom. And then I had so many qualifications, so much American training, international training, that my passion eventually drove me to re identify myself um, 5 years ago back into counseling. And I'm trained as a family therapist, but I'm trained also as an equine therapist. And so we spent part of our homeschooling, world schooling experience over in Australia horse schooling. And so I became a horse program therapist. So that was interesting. And my kids are probably better therapists than I am doing horse programs. But what it was I quickly discovered what it was like to return to counseling and build a sustainable keyword. Raise your hand if you can identify with how challenging it can be if to build a sustainable practice. I'm only 5 years into re-identifying myself. Maybe you could show a hands, a quick flick. Are you 1 year? Are you just out of the gate 5 years? Are you, 10, 20? How many years? Okay, I see a one, I see two, I see one, I see six, I see five. Right. And some of us are doing, I saw two, Kirk, 10, 20. Okay, Kirk. So really, we have this variety of life experience and professional experience. I see 14. Thank you for putting that in the chat. It's two very different things to return to counseling and build a sustainable business practice. I'd become a counselor again, but I had to become a really good business owner. I knew nothing. I'm a healer. Okay, God's gift in my life is to be a listener and a compassionate carer. And I had two minister mom and dad. I was not a business finance person. Math is not my tab is not open on that. So how many can relate? We need to still learn about marketing, networking, technology, administration. Yes, I'm counting, finance, personal development, insurance, and all the other things that go along with becoming a good business person. And that's not in counseling training. At least it wasn't for me 25 years ago or plus. But today I'm here to tell you that I discovered the perfect formula. No, I'm just kidding. I'm here to tell you quite the opposite. Because honesty, I think at my age, mid 50s plus, it's like, what does an honest share do? Well, it brings us together and it says, oh, well, she had the hiccups, she had the fails, she had the mistakes. Okay, she's still alive on this webinar, still surviving, still a mom, still a wife, still a person. I haven't been sued yet. Yay, all the things, but quite the opposite. A good, honest share about what the last 5 years have been like. Silvia's been there, ear to the ground sometimes, helping me through the challenges, the rewards. They've been unexpected delights and surprises, but also, first things first, I wish I had understood a few things from the get-go. So hopefully this is going to be helpful. Because I believe that we do need a realistic conversation about what it actually takes to build a sustainable counseling practice, the most important is maybe not losing yourself in the process. So I'm going to take it back to what my passion truly is and always has been for decades. And since probably, I was a wee little thing. I love holistic health. I've been a holistic minded person my whole life, and that is now my strength, my forte. It's what I do every day. It's how I make most of my money. And on the side, truly like it's my intrinsic spiritual gift. I love to help people feel more well in themselves, to find their wellness, to find their vitality, and not try to put on a fake hat during most of the day and then go and do some sort of cool hobby or activity or whatever that's really filling their cup. I would love to invite us all to bring your true selves into your practice and do that, like Silvia is saying, with a bit of cutting edge, what it means to integrate your purpose, your life God-given force purpose into your everyday working. And then you'll make the millions. And one friend said to me who has millions, cha-ching, but she said to me, you have something that most people don't. You have a richness because you prioritize, maybe even just slightly sometimes because money, and all the financials. But at the same time, she's like, you do live a life that's rich. Yes, it's diverse. No, it is not typical. It is an atypical life. I have such a variety of things. But those moments when I really feel like the passion coming through is what gets me through. And it's what people want to pay me for. They're throwing more money at me, whether it's a course online that I've developed, whether it's a horse program they've heard about and they're like, I want that. People will come to you like moths to a flame when we're actually lit up. So I encourage all of us, because I haven't done that. I've tried to, I'm from the South. And so it's more like, here, I'm wearing them. Look, I'm still a part of the South. touch the pearls and say the appropriate, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. How are you? Yes, ma'am. No, sir. I'm a perfect little, polite little thing. So I would wear my chameleon. I was a chameleon. And in my counseling business, I realized, well, yes, I'm there for the client. I'm client focused. But where I got lost is my self-care, Courtney's self-care. And that has not been sustainable. So I encourage you again, if anything, just take away that holistic health and wellness for you, putting that as a priority and tying that in, hopefully, at the center of my holistic wheel, because I give it to every client. Oh, see the dot in the middle? Well, the center of that is your spiritual, however you identify that. For some, it could be religious practice. For others, it's spiritual religious, but that is where I would start. And then it comes out from there. And so when I do that for myself, I'm so much more sustainable. So I hope that's helpful. A couple other points. Is this helpful so far? Okay. Okay, good. A couple of the key things. There's no obligation to thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate those little things. That's great. Some of the things I think I'll just give it to you out of the gate. My 3 biggest lessons. Let's just jump to that. Okay, number 1, clinical competence is only half of the equation. I have so much competence, and you know what? I was just telling Silvia, confession time. I work 10 jobs right now. Yes, that is a reality. Yeah. I won't tell you the circumstances. I mean, who cares? Everybody's circumstances, like house flood, mom passed, like, oh my gosh, teenager kid going to a private school. They all want to, anyway, I need to win the lotto. But I'm working 10 jobs, some $14 an hour. Okay. That's under minimum, right? Other times I'm making great money for very little bit of energy, but I've pre-paved because I've done the professional course. I flew my videographer over to America. I have filmed at the horse barn. I'm now just hiring the virtual assistant who's down the mountain, and she's a sweet little thing, but she understands at 25 what my 56-year-old brain doesn't understand about touch this, do that, and poof, the whole world knows about me in a reel or a story, whatever. Like, she can do all that, and I'm taking the punt to invest in that. But she's working on my demographic here. And I've got a girl working on my demographic in the South Pacific, because every culture is a little different. So number 1, build the practitioner and the business. You got to build yourself. And that has to be sustainable. And if you do not have a sustainable self-care plan, please know that I'm offering it, no obligation, but please, if you feel like connecting with me, I'd be happy to chat with you about that. That is my passion. So you're a sustainable human. You get the most vitality and longevity out of the game of life. And counseling is just one of those things. Number 2, create sustainability, because clients don't care. But if you're half like in the room, or half, if you're feeling pooped and tired and exhausted, or you've got half of your mind is over here with all the other things. No, perfect presence is powerful. So if you do not have switching techniques to be in the present moment, and that's a trick for all of us as humans. We all know the present is the gift of your breath. The breath is now. I mean, that's it. It's super simple. We teach that, we show that, but are we really true to that? Number 3, look after yourself, look after yourself, look after yourself. So your practice cannot be it will only be as healthy as the person that you are. That's it. And when we wear the private practice hat, and I decided specifically to withdraw from a lot of the association commitments. I keep my health and well-being practices at the highest. I put my spiritual practice at the core. I'm not good at that, but sometimes, I'm like not recharging my God line, which is open 24/7, but I'm the one that shuts it down. But I'm getting those sustainability practices and my switching techniques when I'm in the doldrums, or I'm in my conditioned self, or I'm in my ego. If I don't have my switching technique, like super duper easy, 1, 2, 3, ABC, I'm not going to be available, and my moths will not come to my flame. They will not. I will not attract. I'm a big believer that your private practice, your sustainability, and all of that has to do with looking after yourself. And if I can help you in a consultation conversation, a compassionate moment to get that in order, so you have your 1, 2, 3 ABC daily energy practices that keep you going, then your tank will be full and your love will overflow and you will flourish and your business will become more than ever even imagined.
Now, Courtney, one of the things that we were talking about was how our attitudes to money impact on our business. I'm just going to show, this is one slide. One of the things in the notes is an article by Jeremy Lecomte, who's in the NZAC, and he what's it done now? That's not the right one. Oh dear, what happened to my PowerPoint? Let's go with that one. There it is. And he's done quite a research on how counsellors set their fees, and his challenges from it is that you are in charge of how much you should charge. And he is calling us to have an ethical balance between accessibility for clients and financial sustainability for ourselves. This kind of, getting the balance right. And I did want to have chuck this quote in. To achieve this balance, practitioners must reflect on how their upbringing and societal influences have shaped their financial perspectives.
Silvia, we can't see it, hon.
Oh, sorry. What is that?
Just a blank screen. It says click to add title.
Oh, great. I will escape that. I will stop the share. Yeah, it started a whole new one. What is going on there? I'll try sharing again. Yes, it's like once you've kind of tried that one, once you've opened it, then it disappears somehow. How about that now? Can you read that one?
Yes.
Failure to critically examine core values and beliefs, including about clients' financial literacy, can perpetuate dynamics akin to the drama triangle, where clients are the victims and we're the rescuers. And he warns about how this can stigmatize clients, undermine their autonomy, and contribute to us feeling used and resentful. So yeah, we don't want to go there. Did you have any comments, Courtney, about before we go to some breakout rooms, about our attitude to money?
Yes. And what I wanted to say, the financials, I invested because I knew nothing after 15 years in marketing and it was all new world. I invested in an American-based holistic life coach. I did not know that's what I was getting into. I just wanted business training and insight and how to market myself. What she taught, and the most valuable thing that I circled back to, was money beliefs and transformation. So I now am certified to offer that. It's a 4-week program. It's 1 hour a week. And I'm telling you, I took deep dives. It's, inner child and background work, but man, oh man, 4 weeks, 1.5 hours, maybe 1 to 1.5 hours a week for 4 weeks, and then circle back quarterly. That is a game changer, because our attitude does change and our beliefs are subconscious. And when we can look at mom, dad, and or generational beliefs about our money and our value and our abundance and our prosperity, that is where the needle will shift. And I am telling you, it is not one and done. It is circle back. So add it to your quarterly goals as a part of your number one SMART goal process, because it is tangible, and then it'll deep dive into your intrinsic internal beliefs that will shift your external. So yeah, if you want that link, I can help, but otherwise I can do it as well, or Silvia and I could link up and offer a program or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think for myself, I can recognize some of those intergenerational patterns of going back to the Depression and this kind of, mustn't waste anything. My grandmother never threw anything out, that kind of does become part of our attitude to money, and a sense that we kind of almost don't deserve to be paid, or that there's always going to be someone more in need, and how could we even take money from people? These are kind of at the kind of core at a is it almost subconscious level of doing private practice. Well, there we go, rolling on. I am going to put you into, oh, no, we're going back. That one, breakout rooms. Let's have, you've actually got nearly quarter of an hour because that was our main input for today. I hope you found that like inspiring. I hope that thoughts are kind of buzzing around. So let's have these. So these are the questions there, going back to the basic process. What is your why? What is your context? What is your process? Maybe share about some of your best hopes for your business as well. Right. Just chill out there for a minute while I've put you into breakout rooms. There we go. All right, so I'll call you back in about 10 minutes. But yeah, I hope you have a chance to get to know and chat. Great. Well, thanks, folks, for talking about these things. I hope that was interesting to connect with one another and to just to hear some of the different stories. We're talking in our group around some of the practical challenges around the gap between graduating and getting enough experience to get the full membership or to get EAP contracts or ACC contracts, which is perhaps a bit more of an income. And so, yeah, I'm just really wondering how we as a profession help graduates to get started. There just aren't enough jobs in agencies offering counselling positions. It's partly, funding, government staff. We're in some ways caught in some much bigger systems. On one hand, the really increasing needs around mental health, and on the other hand, a decrease in community funding. And so into that, we are stepping as individuals, setting up our own businesses. And I think we need to find ways to raise each other up and support each other, especially to get the experience required to get that, with my own supervision work, I talk about that kind of professional identity, the confidence in yourself that's required to call yourself a counsellor and to be to actively promote your services and to it seems a very audacious thing to do, actually. All encouragement with that. I hope that you feel at least supported through being part of this online community that we're formed here. So just coming back to the assignment, the challenge over the next couple of weeks is to write it down, write, draft or review, if you already have one, your business plan for your private practice. What is your why? What are your values? What are your goals? And we'll talk more at our marketing thing in a couple of weeks around the importance of being quite personal in this. What is it that will that people will be drawn to you? And what are some of those milestones that you'd love to reach? And what's your big, hairy, audacious goal? Where would you love to be? And 10 years, what can you see yourself? What's that longing that motivates you into the space? You've invested a lot to be here. And now what is required for this to be a thriving and successful part of your life, including your finances? So see you in a couple of weeks. Feel free to upload any material you'd like to the Google Drive. Email me if you can't access it, or just email me stuff and I'll put it on. That's all good. Blessings. Peace be with you. All encouragement. Bye.